anxious moments as conflicting reports emerge on Mandela's health.
Tumekuja hapa kwa sababu ya maombi, kwa sababu ya kuombea nchi yetu.
Kikuyu elders perform rituals to protect the president and his deputy. And on Survivor tonight, the deaf athlete who will stop at nothing to achieve her goals. Many thanks for joining us on Saturday Night Live. We begin all the way in Mandera, and a police operation is underway there. And Wajir County, after renewed clashes, left at least 9 people dead and several others injured. According to the police, the latest clashes happened on Friday night when 4 people, including a Kenya police reservist, were killed in Mandera County. 5 others were killed in Wajir County in a similar fight between Degodia and Gare clans on Friday night. Police have confirmed the 2 incidents, adding that businesses in the 2 areas have been affected. The fighting, which has now entered the 3rd month, has spread from Mandera to Wajir, where the majority of the locals are from the Degodia clan. Police have launched investigations and are tracking down the perpetrators of the attacks, while the injured have been evacuated to the Mandera District Hospital for treatment. All right, let's stay on that Mandera attack and bring in Nelly Muluka, Communications Manager from the Red Cross. Nelly, thank you so much for joining us on phone. We understand that police reservists were killed. Your people are on the ground, Nelly. What happened?
We wouldn't know about the police reservists, but what we know for sure as Kenya Red Cross is that today at around 10 a.m. we received a call telling us that there were attacks in Chiroko and Puba villages, where Kenya Red Cross Mandera branch actually responded with our medical team and the response team, and we can confirm 4 deaths and 3 injuries, whereby 2 were major, and they were taken to the Mandera District Hospital.
Nelly, there is a fight between the Degodia and the Gare clans. What sparked these clashes between these 2 communities?
Actually, where we sit as Kenya Red Cross, one thing that I can say is that we wouldn't really know what sparked the fight, but the fights were there. But what is a matter of fact and for sure is that for the last 2 years as Kenya Red Cross, we've been responding to fights between these 2 communities that have been ongoing, only that the attacks and counterattacks, and then we have a period of calmness, after which again, without any warning, one of the attacks again happens. So it is almost like something which has become almost like normal in this area. It's unfortunate, but the attacks have been ongoing for the last 2 years. So attacks and counterattacks, it may be over anything, scarce resources. At times they're just counterattacks, things to do with water, raids. And last year there were some which were linked on ethnopolitical issues and so on.
Nelly, you say these attacks have been going on and off for the last 2 years. Surely the security agencies in that area must be doing something to control this. What has been done so far?
I can comfortably talk on behalf of the Kenya Red Cross that we've been responding to the conflict because we are a humanitarian organization whereby ours is to deal with the people who are affected with the food and non-food items, medical issues, water, and so on. And that's the area that I can comfortably talk about because security for sure is not our beat.
Nelly, I know security is not your line, but from where your people are standing, your people are on the ground, this has been going on for 2 years. Really, there has to be something that is being worked on at least to sort this out once and for all.
That is true for sure, but as I've told you earlier, that maybe I've seen, of course, we've been saying we've been working with the government at times, from time to time. We've seen the police operations and so on, but as I said, that is not our area. We are neutral, impartial, and therefore when we get there, ours is to give the humanitarian assistance that is needed, and therefore when we start looking at such things, the side shows that maybe we get distracted. So we concentrate on the humanitarian assistance.
All right, Nelly, as you concentrate on the humanitarian aspect of it, we know that 9 people have died. What sort of casualty numbers are we looking at?
So far for today's incident, we are talking about 4 people who have lost their lives, and then we had 3 injuries, whereby we attended to 1 minor and 2 major, and were transferred to the Mandera District Hospital.
Nelly, finally, before I let you go, your people are on the ground. They're seeing what's going on the ground. Paint for us a picture of what's going on at the moment in terms of the locals. What are they doing? What sort of scenario is on the ground?
Actually, our people are on the ground in the grassroots, and what they say at the moment is that there's that calm and easiness. There's an easy calm, and this is what always happens, that when we have this kind of attack, then they'll happen after 1 or 2, 3 hours. There's calmness, after which you'll find that for a long time, or maybe 2, 3, 4 days, 2 weeks, there's nothing, and then another counterattack. So at the moment the attack has happened, there were casualties, and as we talk now, the fighting has stopped and there's calmness.
Nelly, thank you very much for keeping us up to speed on what's going on in Mandera. Of course, we know that police operation is underway in Mandera. Nelly Muluka, that is from Red Cross. She's the communications manager, making it very clear that these attacks have been going on. They've been on/off for the last 2 years, and it has been something that they have been observing over the last 2 years. And we certainly hope that these attacks will come to an end. Of course, Nelly, we will be keeping in touch with you probably tomorrow to get to understand what's going on the ground. Thank you so much for speaking to Saturday Night Live. Now, the Kenya National Union of Teachers is now expected to call for a nationwide strike come Monday to push for better pay. Speaking in Meru during the annual general meeting, NART Chairman Wilson Sosion revealed that top union leaders have been summoned for an urgent meeting on Monday, after which they will make a major announcement. Teachers from across the country assembled in Meru, where they resolved to wait for the National Executive Council's decision on the strike. The council has vowed to call for a nationwide teachers' strike if the government refuses to table any offer on the teachers' unpaid allowances. The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Teachers has already called for a strike, which began last Monday. But this call was ignored by a section of teachers. A strike by the Kenya National Union of Teachers is expected to bring learning to a halt in public schools. Teachers are demanding allowances agreed upon in the 1997 agreement and want the 53 billion shillings that has been set aside for laptops in schools to be paid out to teachers in allowances instead.
We had the Manzoni agreement. We have therefore summoned the National Executive Council for an urgent, serious meeting that will culminate in a major announcement on Monday, 9 o'clock at NART headquarters, 2 days away. Let government now transfer the 53 billion of the laptop, because we only need 41 billion, and pay all the teachers at once. Are we together? Yes. That is our recommendation, and it is simple.
Let's see how that goes. Of course, that is a story that we're keeping an eye on now. Just days after the Mau Mau Veterans Association patron passed on, before the compensation paychecks are handed out, pressure is mounting on the British law firm involved in the case to release the list of beneficiaries. The Law Society of Kenya has threatened to sue Layday for withholding the names of 5,228 Mau Mau War veterans who are eligible for the compensation package. However, as KTN's Catherine Omanto reports, LSK are insisting on having the list, even though they never took any interest in the case or even offered legal assistance prior to the British government agreeing to compensate the victims with a total of £19.9 million.
LSK has become the proverbial dog with a bone, insisting that it must have the list of beneficiaries of the British government's £20 million compensation for at least 5,200 Mau Mau War veterans. The Law Society, through its Chief Executive Officer Apollo Mboya, wrote to Lee Day outlining that LSK has every right to have the list of 5,228 Mau Mau War veterans, since the case involves Kenyans. Therefore, them having the list and being updated on the compensation process is within the Society's jurisdiction. According to the letter, if Lee Day does not give the list of Mau Mau War veterans, LSK will seek a court order compelling them to do so. According to Apollo Mboya, the Society is getting many requests from Mau Mau War veterans asking if they're on the list. Since mid-2009, the Kenya Human Rights Commission, Lee Day, Paul Mwite, Gitobwe Manyara and other consultants have been working tirelessly to ensure that the Mau Mau victims of torture finally get justice 60 years on. The group took their case to the UK, with victims having to relive their nightmares to give evidence.
The number of women who were raped is horrendous, and it's been very difficult actually even persuading them to talk about it after so many years.
Never once has LSK wanted to be part of the legal process, that is until now. Over the last 4 years, the Kenya Human Rights Commission has been compiling evidence and information of all the victims in their case. So most likely the Mau Mau War veterans, who LSK claims to be questioning whether they are on the list of beneficiaries, are most likely not.
Confidential conversations that are happening and dialogue. What I can tell you is that we have continuously partnered with the Mau Mau War Veterans Association, which is an institution that represents Mau Mau War veterans, and throughout this process we've enjoyed that partnership.
Lee Day has replied to LSK's letter saying that they are willing to meet and talk face-to-face in mid-July to settle the matter. Otherwise, LSK should be more cautious to communicate by telephone. Catherine Omwando, KTN.
Let's cross borders to South Africa, and the African National Congress, ANC, has called on the media to afford Nelson Mandela and his family respect as the former South African president spends 15th day in a Pretoria hospital. This plea came after some international media outlets reported that his health could be deteriorating, raising anxiety about his condition. KTN's Eric Njoka with the latest on Madiba's health.
It's 15 days, and former South Africa's President Nelson Mandela is still in hospital, though many hope he will be discharged soon. They remain optimistic that his health would improve, as former South African President Thabo Mbeki confirmed on Thursday.
Nelson Mandela is in fact improving in terms of his health. I don't think anybody should kind of entertain some wrong notion that Nelson Mandela is about to die tomorrow. He's not going to.
But all may not be well after all if the online media reports are anything to go by. Take a look at this headline on the Daily Mail today. Nelson Mandela unresponsive and has not opened his eyes for days as family discusses withdrawing medical treatment. That's the main headline in the Daily Mail today. It goes on to say apartheid hero's liver and kidneys down to 50%, contradicts reports by family and officials that Mandela's health is improving. Let's go to the CBS headline today that revealed that the military ambulance transporting Madiba to hospital on the 8th broke down for more than 40 minutes before he was transferred to another ambulance in winter temperatures, in what many say could have been the cause of his deteriorating condition. Well, this has created a lot of speculation about the real condition of Madiba. When the ambulance incident was revealed, a statement from President Jacob Zuma's official website confirmed the report that indeed the ambulance had an engine problem and that the doctors are satisfied that the former president suffered no harm during the 40-minute ordeal. Mandela is said to have had 2 recent procedures, one to repair a bleeding ulcer and another to insert a tube into his body, giving credence to information that Mandela's situation could be much more serious than has been reported by South African authorities. There has been little information about his condition for some days now, only countless visits by family members since he was hospitalized, and a close vigil by the media worldwide. But already many here want to know what the word serious in the government statements about Mandela's health really means before they take much encouragement from the already contradictory talk of improvement.
He hasn't been this long before in a hospital, but their family keeps on saying he's getting better, he's getting better.
The media has constantly been urged to rely on updates from the presidential office. The need to respect Mandela's dignity is widely recognized, but the government knows public trust is at stake too. Eric Njoka, KTN.
Nelson Mandela, the man the entire world is wishing well. You're watching Saturday Night Live. Thank you so much for staying with us. We're taking a short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.